Alright, step one, we're making hardened paper for this thing over here. I don't even know which way to orientate it. Well, it is hardened paper. You should know this by now, but if you don't, hardened paper is when you get paper and you glue it to itself. So you make a laminate, so it's a material that's easy to cut while it's soft and wet. So you have a material that's easy to cut while it's moist. So you have a material that you can cut before it dries, and when it dries it becomes very solid and hard. So we're gonna do, I have 8 sheets of 110-pound cardstock. This is just heavier weight paper. You can use lighter weight of paper, but you need to make more layers. 110-pound cardstock can be found in places such as Staples or Walmart in America. The heavier the weight, the thicker it'll be, the less layers you have to use. So, starting off with 8 sheets here to make the entire blade portion thing that we're gonna cut it out first. I need to create actual terminology. And then I have 8 more sheets, 110-pound cardstock, that I'm going to fold like that to make this piece here and this piece here. Might need more, you might need less. I don't know. I suggest starting off with 8 though. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab Elmer's glue. This is school glue. It doesn't have to be Elmer's, it can be regular school glue. I put it in this bottle. Regular white school glue. I got a popsicle stick for folding shit. And this thing spreads the glue out. You don't need one of these. You can use the popsicle stick if you want. So to make a sheet of hardened paper, you're gonna get your piece of paper, bunch of 10-pound cardstock or something like that. You're gonna fold it in half just like that. Give it a nice crease. Use a popsicle stick or something. Nice and folded. Unfold that. Now in this area here, you want a even layer. The more sheets you make, you get a better idea of how much glue you should add. Open that up. Does that seem like enough? I don't know. Spread thing. Spread it out. You can use a popsicle stick, another piece of paper, it doesn't matter. You can use your finger for all I care. See there, I probably added a bit too much glue, so next time I make my next sheet, I'm gonna add less. Now we got it spread out nice and evenly. Gonna fold it back onto itself. Use that popsicle stick again to even it out. Even it out. And that is one piece of single laminated hardened paper. At least that's what I'll call it. So you want to put this under something flat for it to dry, or else it'll start warping, bending, stuff like that. You don't want that, you want it to be flat. So put it underneath some heavy books or something, put it under something flat, and put like weights on top of it. Doesn't really matter. Do this with all of them. Make 15 more. Nicked myself pretty good there. I'm not good at shaving. Oh, what are you gonna do once you got all those sheets of hardened paper? I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna put it under heavy books, and this is what I got here. I got 2 15-pound weights. That's like 30 pounds or something like that. On top of that, along with, I don't know, 5, 10 pounds of extra books or something. And under that, all my pieces of paper. This is like, I don't know, 20 of them. I have some of them drying for a few days, some of them drying for a few minutes. But basically, you're just gonna put books on top of those so that they flatten and dry out a little slow, but enough that they can hold their shape without warping. Alright, back at it again. And we got this nice template here. Hopefully you've printed it off. It's in the description. I think I mentioned this before. You're probably gonna need something like this. I'm just gonna cut these little bits out. Now we got something that's a little easier to work with. So the main blade, we got the handle. So the main blade's gonna be made from one piece, then we're probably gonna have a leveler piece here for this, so we're gonna make 4 of these. No, two, okay. I'll show you what I mean later. Alright, so I cut it out, the template here, so as you can see, it's a little longer, because it was diagonally, it's a little longer than, I don't know, standard 8.5 by 11 sheet. This is longer than 11 inches, I think. This is like, I don't know, 11 3/4 of an inch. So, we got our hardened paper sheets, and we're gonna lay them down. I'm offsetting the layers by 2 inches. This will build the layers up in a brick pattern and minimize weak spots. So here I have like 5 sheets or something. What we're gonna do, we're gonna build that up so that we get thicker material for this, right? For this here. So how are we gonna do that? Well, we're just gonna do this thing. We're gonna lay them down and you're gonna get the glue. I need to get my glue. Glue! Got my glue here. What you're gonna do, you're gonna grab a sheet. Put glue on that sheet. Sort it out evenly. As you can see, I'm leaving like 1 inch, 2 inches on this side with no glue. I don't think you can see that because it's all white. Now I grab another sheet and I'm going to lay it about 2 sheets away from this line here, or to the 2 inch mark. So lay it down and line it up just like that. Line it down. Now glue the rest over here. Place another sheet just at the end here. Line it up, make it as clean as possible, and bada bing bada boom. You got something that's kind of long here. So what we're gonna do, flip that over. Now we got long end over here and a shorter end over here. Cut right here. And now you have this two inches on over here. So this end, add the glue. Use that remaining sheet. Fill it in, down, line it up, turn it around, cut off the excess. And now, this is a double layered sheet of hardened paper that is 13 inches long. More than long enough to fit our template. We even have more space where we can cut out more material. So this is only 2 layers, I want to make it 4, so I'm just going to add a few more sheets. So let's do it again, but directly on here. So now I'll have this line here, is where this is what a weak point would be. So we're going to add glue to this whole 13-inch long piece. Spread it out. Grab another sheet, put it over top the side where there's a weak point. As we're trying to minimize, overlap as many weak points as possible, we want as little as we can. And with the remaining glue on that side, we're going to use our first smaller sheet that we're cutting our end pieces, I guess, off of. Put that on top of there. Turn it over, cut off the excess. All you need is 13 inches. And now you have 3 layers of hardened paper. Do it one more time. Got the long sheet. I'm going to turn it over. Either way, the weak point is going to be on the same side. So I'm going to glue this side. Glue spread all over. Get your other sheet. Put it on top of the weak point. Line it up, flatten it. Use the remaining. Cover what's left. Cut off the excess. That's a 13-inch piece of 4 layers of hardened paper. The weak points are even. 2 around here, 2 around here, and that is what we're going to cut our blade out of. But before you want to do that, you want to lay this flat, this whole piece flat, under some heavy bolts as one piece so that it dries a little more. The pages don't tear when you cut them, and it doesn't warp when you cut it. So I'm going to do that and wait a few hours. I'll be back. I got work and shit to do. But in the meantime, while that is drying, because we need extra pieces for this, for say the 2 handle parts, because you need 1 on each side, some centerpieces, and a bunch of other I'm going to make another layer of 4 pieces of hardened paper. This will probably be too many. I used 5 sheets of standard 1-layer hardened paper for that previous piece. I think you just need like 4 more. So instead of 20, you can only need like 11, maybe 12 pieces of hardened paper. So maybe it's good to have more. Once these dry out, like fully, it gets hard to cut, but you know, it is what it is. So as you can see, this other sheet is a lot simpler because you don't have to offset any layers. You can just take these 11 by 8.5, or now I guess 3 1/4. No, 4 1/4 sheets, and just lay them on top of each other. So this is 3 layers. Gonna grab another 1 layer and just glue that on top of there. Just like that. 4 layers hardened paper. Got like, I don't know, that much thickness. It's like 1/8 of an inch or something thick, maybe less. Once this dries, it will hold its shape. This will become a good material. Just let it dry. Underneath some heavy books, of course. There's actually another shave period between the last clip and this one, but I didn't film before. Don't procrastinate shit. There will be no more shaving periods in this video. I don't know why I filmed the previous clip, because that was shot 2 days ago. I put it off for 2 extra days. Here I am. Another shave that I didn't record. So these hardened sheets of paper have been sitting under heavy books for quite a while now. I want to get this done primarily because I kind of want to use my 15-pound weights that I'm using to compress these sheets under heavy books. We got the thing here. Got our thingy here. Fun little life hack. I like getting some fun tack by the page. Put a little bit on there. A little bit on here. Because I want to utilize my space as good as possible, I'm going to put this all the way over here, close to the bottom as possible. Make sure there's enough clearance on the other side. Looks about right. Now, grab a pen or a marker or a pencil or something like that and trace around it. Yo, just like that. By the way, this is the specific product that I'm using. This has lasted me like 7 years. Now you got a funny little thing. Yo! So you got your funny little thing. I'm gonna grab your razor blade. I like using a brand spanking new blade for this, so I'm gonna actually change that out. New X-Acto blade. Now, we're gonna get to cutting. Now this has some straight lines to it, so I'm going to use a metal ruler to cut those out. Basically, for something like this kind of material, for some material like this, make multiple passes with X-Acto razor blade. I should have left these under the books for so long. I feel a little hard to cut. Well, got a thing, like 15 minutes of cutting or so. Yeah, a thing, it's solid enough. Once it fully dries, it should hold its shape a little better. Like there, needs to be fixed, but we'll get to that soon enough. Now you got a little dagger thing, but we ain't done yet. So what I'm going to do is cut off this blade portion from the handle portion so that we just get the handle portion, so it'll be easy to work off of. Now with just the handle, we can transfer that on to your hard paper thing. Draw on your silly lines. Do the same thing, but on a slightly different side. Now we got 2 of those. Now, while I'm cutting this, I realized, yeah, that's probably the best idea for most people. Cut these out with X-Acto blade or stuff, or something like that. Or you can keep these under heavy books for a few days. You don't want them to get too dry, but dry enough so that they don't start. I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to slightly bend and warp, and you don't want that. I want that to be straight. I'm gonna trace out the piece here, so basically I'm gonna cut out this middle piece here. So like that. With that middle piece out, I'm going to trace this because this is also an extra layer. See if I can fit it onto here. And I'll probably cut this out on a bandsaw because I have one. You don't have to use a bandsaw. I don't have a bandsaw, don't use a bandsaw. Don't use a regular saw. That's kind of a terrible idea. Use a knife, just use some elbow grease, and just get to it. Damn, that actually kind of sucks. Can't fit another piece onto here. Just this will have to suffice. Pretty much the exact same layer thickness. It sucked because this piece was going to be the sheath. Huh. I'll cut these on a bandsaw if it will let me. I actually haven't cut hardened paper on a bandsaw yet. It didn't turn out that good. Oh, yikes. You know, in hindsight, it actually isn't that bad. So what I'm gonna do here is make a sheet of 2 double layered hardened paper. So 1 layer of hardened paper here. And from this double layer of hardened paper, I am going to make these parts, these detail parts here. So this one, that, probably something else, and the little dragon things. So put this under heavy books. I'll cut it out today just with an X-Acto knife. These parts here, and I cut these out with a bandsaw. You can use an X-Acto blade. It just took me some extra time. Not extra time, actually took me less time, less hand strain, but I have that tool, so I'm gonna use it. F you. So I'm just gonna use it. Oh, a bandsaw, use an X-Acto blade. You're mad that I used a bandsaw and I have one? Well, you know, that's kind of a you problem. So while that 2-layer hardened paper thing is drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these, you know, handle parts, and I'm going to trace this part here, and I'm going to round off some of the hard edges. So for this inside piece, only this part here. Then for this piece, that'll be this here, all along here. I'm going to glue it on together. I'm going to round or smooth out all these edges here and make sure that these 2 parts here are all the same, lined up, cut up, sanded, whatever. So to do that, you can either A, use an X-Acto blade to cut along the edges, B, use some sandpaper or Dremel or something like that. And if you have an electric tool to round these off, literally just using sandpaper and some time and patience, you can sand these off quite well. Or B, no wait, or C, or whatever 3rd, 4th, 5th option I've explained. I've lost count. Use a belt sander, sand it down, and this piece of sandpaper to sand it even finer, and that's how you do that. So I am going to get to it. So sanding order. Step 1, sand these inside parts here. Step 2, sand the inside parts here. Step 3, glue these 2 parts together like this, then use some tack to stick them together like this, and make sure that this part here is lined up. And step 3, I would glue these parts onto the blade itself. No, wait, don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. Let's say step 3, we'll get to later, so don't do it yet. Step 4, what would have been in the process of sanding, glue the handle parts to the blade, line it up as best as you can, then sand or fill in any of these areas here. Make sure that the handle is lined up with the blade and the other side of the handle and everything. Then step 5 or something would be to glue on these details that we cut in the future, present, past, I don't know. Step 4 would be actually grab the template with the whatever this shit is, trace it on or directly cut it out of some cardstock. Literally like just a single layer or double layers. I'll probably use double layers actually. Two double layer hardened paper, trace it on there or transfer it somehow to that. Then cut these out meticulously, but carefully, precisely. Then it'll be to glue it onto this actual blade part, at least on one side, then I'll start gluing these handles onto it. Guess I'll get to it. Yo, my dumbass didn't even record myself gluing these funny parts together. Basically, I spread glue on the thing and I'm pressing them down. Oh, press it down after you lined it up as best as you can. Because cutting that consistently kind of hard, so it's probably not going to line up perfectly, so like, do it as best as you can. We're going to sand it down anyway! Or something like that. I don't know, seems good so far. You could put it under heavy books or something like that. Now we got these two pieces that are kind of smooth. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some of that fun tack. Oh, the fun tack. Those fun tack pieces. Roll them. Stick it, stick it, stick it. Press. Line that it up as best as you can. Now pretty much only this part you really need to sand because you will sand everything else here once it is glued onto here. Got that double layer hardened paper sheet here, and I'm going to trace most of this blade onto here. So since it's only 2 layers, it should be relatively easy to cut just with an X-Acto blade. So I'm not going to use any fancy machinery, any fancy expensive, literally a few $100 machinery. Just a few $5 X-Acto blade. For the most part, that is traced onto there. What I can do is this blade part be sort of lined up like that. Now, a little tedious of a task. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna use this. This is called transfer paper. One sheet has a bunch of graphite. The other side, no graphite. But that's not like anything foul. Like that's a sword handle, by the way. Anyway, I'm going to put this like, I don't know, here or something. Line that up as best as we can. It's about right, it might be about right. So that there, hold that down, trace that, and it will transfer onto the other side. Yeah, something like that. Might be tedious, might be long. Just do it. No, what am I doing? Barely even went on there. Straight up, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to, literally just grab some tape. And grab your X-Acto blade and start cutting. Man, I don't know what I'm doing. Really, this doesn't need to be two layers thick. That's kind of overkill. I'll do it for the other details, but really, I think this extra piece only needs to be like 1 hardened paper layer thick. So I'm just gonna grab one of those, and this I'll reserve strictly for the detail, handle detail pieces. No, I didn't give up. I just I don't know, I just got tired of it. Oh yeah, something like that. And perhaps just a little cleanup. Now, we just have to see. I'm going to attach it, clicking directly on like this. Yeah, I'll go with that and we'll see what happens. I'm going to cut straight here or something, I guess. And I'll just glue. Do a quick trim, then I'll go in and do a closer trim afterwards. technically on the blade. I'm going to actually use super glue for these super duper itty bitty small bits. So one of these floaty bits I cut out, I'm just going to carefully, and I did it upside down, so carefully. I don't know how close I can get there, but for the small bits I'm just going to place in there. Damn, just realized all these things are gonna have to be backwards. Fuck, okay. Holy fuck, that kind of worked out. Okay, now the next one. Kind of just place some of them in randomly, but you know, it is what it is. Time for the trim. Literally with this excess, I'm just going to glue on. Shut this end bit, just fill it up. Uh-oh, filled it up. Oh, glue, glue. Just fill it up, lay it down. You know, it'd be fucking hilarious if I put it on the wrong side. Oh, did I? I did. I did. Oh man. Did I? Wait. No. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay, so, whatever side you decide to put this on, I don't think you can really be wrong because it's really inconsistent. Maybe it's on both sides. I think it's only on one side. But I'm not that worried. Whatever. You know what happens? It still looks nice enough, I think. So don't worry about it too much. So what's on the wrong side? It's your blade, it's your knife, your dagger. You can do whatever you want. You do whatever you want with your paper knife. See, I gotta plan things out better. My apologies. Don't forget, cut out this little bit over here. Engraved, or whatever you call it, I don't know, thing, it would go there. So now that that's on there, I can sand this part, then glue this handle onto here, and then sand around it. Let's get to it. Now I completely forgot to mention, but if you want to add a bevel to your blade, around now is when you should do it. Just gonna do this angle so I can get it over with. But what am I doing? I should be gluing it onto this piece. Blade bevel realization in 3, 2, 1. Oh, f I shouldn't have glued this together yet. Oh, no, I should have sanded this before I glued this handle part. Yes, I'm gonna have to get tight with the Dremel. I'm tired. Yeah, I just compress this. I actually have clamp. I'm gonna clamp. Actually, no, I'm just gonna put it under heavy books to dry, at least this handle part. See you in the morning? No, I'll see you like tomorrow. No, maybe another day. Who knows? I'll see you soon. One more for good luck. Okay. Now, would you believe me if I told you that package has absolutely nothing to do with this knife? It probably should because I ordered shit. That's 3D printed filament for another project. Probably my next big project for after this one's done. So. Oh great, Dremel tool with grinding bit because it's like the other drum bit, but not as abrasive. So that. Now, I can go through with the grinding bit, more of smoothing some of these areas that really divoted in, like this for example. See how it's really divoted in? Well, I'm going to just curve that out a little, like this way, and smooth that out as much as I can, along with the same thing with like this part right here. And do some more smoothing, make everything look all pretty. Get this flat, and then I'm going to put like sort of a chamfer smooth out edge on this. This can stay reasonably flat, and I'm gonna make this sharp here, smart, I mean as in like 90 degrees, and this I will sand a bevel onto it. I'll show you how you do that later. So I don't know if I showed it, but here, I think I did. I blasted texture with fire, and what that did is basically just burn any like flashing, any like particles, anything sticking out, and made it a little smoother. I gave it a sand afterwards. A little bit of a bevel on that edge there. It's kind of bending this way, so I'm gonna slightly bend that. Alright, so it's looking okay. Now, glue and compress some of these areas. So I get some super glue. I'm going to put it some corners that I'm noticing are separating. I'm just gonna spread it out a little using a fucking painter's tape. I'm gonna put it between or something like that. Like that. Ooh, compress that bitch. Ooh, compress. Don't even need to do it that much. Alright, glue hardening's pretty much done. Now, basically, time to just cut out these details before we paint it. Boom, 2 layers of hardened paper. Guys, man, we made this earlier. Grab your thing, you cut this out, put it on there, cut directly from the printout or whatever or something. You got transfer paper, I like transfer paper, so put that, and then just trace this onto there. Yo, now it's on there vaguely. Yep, it's a little dark, but that is a cuttable template. Alright, so alright, as you can see here, got the pieces laid out. Of course, one side's got to be mirrored. Got the template to work off of. I haven't made that piece yet because I haven't made the little dot piece because I might make that something else. You can cut it out of, say, 2-layer hardened paper if you want, or literally find anything else. So, got my sanded, smoothed, pretty nice fitted handle. That's for pretty small hands. You're gonna lay that there, and well, basically grab your pieces and line them up. I'll probably just use super glue, glue these ones in. So I'll have a tube of liquid super glue, and using that as reference, you're gonna see just where this will go, there or something like that. Yep, and lay it down. Maybe it's a little far here, but that's okay. I didn't really account for the beveling. I laid down. I actually kind of beveled these little sharp corners here so that they wouldn't flake up as you hold them. Flatten, flatten, flatten. Lay it down. And I think that looks pretty good on that side. Alright, those are glued on there. I guess I could cut something like that out. I'll see. Personally, even though you can cut out a circle, I have these brass fasteners here, and I love these. And these are like the perfect size for this. And they're round. I don't know how painting them is going to be like, but we're going to see. Cut these tabs. I'm gonna sand these down while my hot glue gun warms up. Now I'm just using brass tabs. I'm gonna put some hot glue inside. Alright, so that's the tab. So it's brass tab, brass fastener on there. It's got a little bumpy thing. You could just use like a dab of hot glue, honestly. Just go right there and spin it around, and you can get like a nice little bump. But I like that. I'm gonna put super glue over these. Where the f did it go? Ooh, I found my knife. Alright, so what I did, I put white flat primer over the whole thing. I clamped it by here and here. When I did it, I did a few coats, only like 3 light coats. And now there's primer all over this. So, what you gonna do with this? I don't know, sand it down because there's like paper burrs and fibers and stuff. And I'll sand it down a little, so let's get some sanding done again. Alright, so I got wiped down with a damp towel to collect any extra dust, primer dust that might be on there. So it's clean, smooth, enough. And I think it's ready for the final paint job. I don't know what the final paint job is gonna be though. Blade's gonna be silver, probably, something like that. So silver blade. The handle I'll probably hand paint. So guess we'll get to spray painting. Alright, so what I did here is taped off the blade part from the handle part, and I'll cover some of it at least. It doesn't really matter if it gets on the handle. I'm going to use this super high pressure iron lock super duper mega, oh my god, it won't even focus. Trust me, it's silver spray paint, okay? Super high pressure, this is what you get. It does look very good actually. It's whatever, I'll paint over it with a different kind of paint. So I'll let this dry for now, and we'll see what I'll do. Acne Tuya here, didn't shave Tuya here. Not good. chin hair here. So this is what I have so far. I painted it again. I sanded it between a few coats, just silver spray paint. So I did some wiping down, sanding, all that. So it looks better because of the combination of super glue, paper, whatever. And tape this area off, and I'm going to remove the tape now. Now we have this here. And this handle here is probably gonna be hand painted, but wondering how that looks like. That's about how it looks. That's as best as I can get it. Sorry for the close-up of my face again, but it's silver enough, you know? It's got silver on it. I should shave. A little bit of painting on the handle, but we'll paint all over that, so it's working well. Let's get it finished. Now getting into painting, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna a dab of red because most of the handle color is like a reddish, brown red thing, so put some red down. And this is some cinnamon brown that I hope is still, and put a little bit of that in there. I'm just trying to mix that together. I could use a little bit more red. Light coat, couldn't get everything. It's a given. But you're gonna do like basically a wash, kinda going covering everything a little bit first. Then we're gonna go into layers later on. So if you miss any spots later on in our coats, it'll all be brown and dark to an extent. Alright, super paint time elapse. Alright, detail parts. So this here, and these parts here. These parts here are going to be gold. These parts here are going to be a darker brown. So I have this acrylic paint, got this from Walmart. It's called Melted Chocolate. Give it a shake. Alright, 5 layers of paint for that. Now I'm going to do just a touch. Probably darker, I think. There's actually a lot of brown. I don't know why I have so much brown. Go over this one, and that is slightly darker. Alright, now gold accents. Using this very shiny gold, very nice. Knew that was gonna pop. And this will just be little details here and here. I'm going to wash this brush and get a smaller brush. So this is basically what we got. Now I'm going to hit this with some clear coat, crystal clear, and to seal all the paint and all the stuff, so then it'll be ready to handle. Let that dry and we'll be done. First I'm going to clamp it by there, dust it with clear coat, then I'm going to clamp it from somewhere else. And that should be good for now. Wait for that to dry before I clamp it somewhere else. Then clear coat it again. Alright. Time for layer 2. Crystal clear coat. That should be good. It's pretty much done. And we'll be done in the morning. Unless you really want to make the sheath, which I'll probably make in a separate video because I really have to get going on another project. You will never see that sheath video. This next project will be made. It has been made. This video was recorded back in September. It is December. I didn't record an actual outro for this video, so this is gonna be the video. I already gave the knife away. So yeah, this is the video. That's the knife. If you liked it, you could like the video. You could leave a comment if you have any questions. I probably won't answer them. I'll try to though. Subscribe, it will help me out, probably. I might start streaming. I don't know. I'm getting let off my job. Yeah, you will see in maybe 4 months.